Hello, my name is Jesse Miller. I play with Lotus and I play bass and this synth and many other things. So we're going to take a little tour through my live rig. First thing, my bass. It is a Fender Jazz bass. Pretty simple 5-string, so not complete classic. I play it with pick always. I use these graphite picks that I really like the tone of. Just really helps cut through on the top end. So you really always hear the note popping. You know, I don't even really know exactly what the strings are. I try to change them maybe like once every year and a half or something. So I kind of just like, I don't like really new bright strings. So as long as it doesn't sound like too dull, like usually around that 18 months to maybe 2 years is when I swap a new one on. So yeah, I'm not very particular about strings. Everything's just cranked to 100 always, just keep it here, and it keeps it balanced to me, and then I can just get the tone I want with my picking, and like left hand control is mainly how I'm deciding like how bright I want something to sound, or like how attacky or something like that. This is my pedal board. It starts here with the 3-leaf octave pedal, which is just your standard octave down, but it does have this button for sub, which basically cuts out the dry signal and you get only the square wave octave down, so it's nice for that super subby kind of electronic like drum and bass style. This is a pork and pickle, which I use for overdrive and fuzz. Moog low pass filter, and that's the cutoff is controlled with this expression pedal. MXR phaser, and Boss DD5 digital delay, real classic delay. It has this tap tempo for it, so it makes it nice to tap in with whatever tempo we're playing, and then I can make adjustments to how I want the delay here. So that's a pretty basic pedal board. I've kept it the same basic idea for quite a while. All right, so here's a quick rundown of the sounds. The octave I talked about, and with the sub. The overdrive, and if you go into fuzz, get a little bit more drive. Low pass filter. I often use that in combination with the distortion. Phaser. Nice for that kind of psychedelic edge. And then delay. Sometimes I'll do rhythmic stuff. That's also nice with the filter to get some kind of ambient stuff. And then sometimes I do something like a really fast delay to almost get like a reverb kind of sound. So that's basics of the pedal board. I'm not super particular about my amp, so I have the Mark bass, which it's just really light, and it makes sound, and it works. It's never broken on me, so I like that. The Avalon does a lot of the heavy lifting for tone. It's the DI we use, so get a really nice tone through the Avalon. And then my configuration is a 1x15 and a 4x10. Just something that fits nicely on our stage, but puts out a decent amount of sound behind me. So I also trigger samples and play Modular Synth for the band. So it's all powered by this laptop that has a really massive Ableton session in it that just lives in this drawer when we're playing. So that stays shut. In the rack here, this is the Motu interface that kind of powers everything from the laptop. We also have this Oberheim Matrix 1000 synth, which is a little bit of a rare synth. It's actually an analog synth, so similar to like a Juno, but in rack form, and that's routed into the modular. Kind of hidden in here is a ABC switcher, so sometimes I actually play samples that I've made through the bass rig, so I can I can actually switch the routing from the bass to an output from the interface with this. And then here's all my ins and outs. So everything is wired into this, and then in the back it's all wired to a DB25 cable, so we can just connect the whole thing and you have 8 channels all wired up. This is the Modular Synth. It's kind of set up like a Moog synth would be, a single voice synth, but with a little bit of extra bells and whistles. There's some delay. I also have this Minotaur routed into this effects module, and yeah, the Oberheim routes into the modular before my filter and effects section. So kind of this becomes sort of the like hub of everything that's synth on my end. And it can be played in a lot of ways. This monome I use for my patch selection system, so each of these buttons is a patch, and I built this little LCD screen to give me the names to make sure I know what's going on. It'll tell me the tempo, the key of the song, a few other things I need to see. And then I have this page that is my arpeggio system. So with this I can play either the synth, or the bass synth. And then I can do different arpeggio kind of things, so on either one. Yeah, there's a built-in recorder too, so I can record loops and play it. It's been a lot of fun for expanding into different styles of improvisation with the band. Really, all these things can, depending on the song, play different things. Like I can, on certain songs, like here's Debris, for example, is this bass line on this synth. On something like Desert Blooms, I've got this routed to the modular. But then there's songs like Cold Facts where I have this routed to the bass synth. So the patch system kind of takes care of all the routing. Yeah, even sometimes I use these pads. So like one of the new songs we've been playing is Tar Pits. And so for that, these pads actually play this synth. So it's kind of the beauty with MIDI. I even have this thing set up to be able to play the synths too. So sometimes I'm playing bass and I play it with these. So yeah, it just gives me like a lot of different options to get into some synth sounds and also like keep bass parts going when I'm trying to get into more of the modular synth. So just to dive in a little bit more on the modular synth, it's kind of like 3 synths at once. There's a normal section that starts with a Dofer oscillator, so this is a square wave. And then there's another section that's driven by this digital oscillator that it's called the triple osc. It's a little hard to see into there, but there's 3 different voices built in there, so I really like to use that. That's a pretty new addition, but I've been using that for this kind of percussive things where kind of fun just to have, it works like a monophonic synth, but with 3 voices stacked on top of each other. And then the one other synth is this by Noise Engineering. I call it the BIA because the name is super long, but it's known for its really percussive style. So if you got something going like, yeah, so basically this gives me kind of 3 different options within the context of a monophonic synth to explore. And everything gets mixed down here. There's really no presets, so I'm just doing it all on the fly. Yeah, so it's exciting. I don't know exactly what the sound is going to be, but I'm usually pretty good at dialing something in pretty quick, and then yeah, being able to kind of allow things to get experimental into places that I don't know exactly where they're going to go is part of the fun. Thanks for checking out the rig rundown, and you can find Lotus on lotusvibes.com where there are ticket links, or connect via Instagram at Lotus Instagram. And yeah, check out our new album. It's called Bloom and Recede. It really focuses on the modular synth and incorporates a lot of minimalistic classical ideas with modern dance music. Really proud of the record, and we're definitely playing a bunch of those tunes out on tour along with all the Lotus classics. So catch us on the festival circuit, and we'll be out on the road in a city near you soon.